Hey DJs, this is Craig from DJ Planning Center. Today we are going to talk about contracts. So I'm going to show you contract templates, how to set them up, what they're all about, and then how to create a contract for an event using a contract template in order to help speed up the process. So let's dive in and get started. So when you first log in, you'll see your dashboard. Over on the left-hand side under Setup, you'll click on Contract Templates. This is where all of your templates will live. You can create one for each of your different event types, whatever specific to your needs and your company. So since we don't have one created yet, I'll go ahead and click this button, and we'll give this a name of Wedding Reception Contract. Since I mainly do weddings, I'll use that as an example, and we will set one up for a wedding. Clicking on Continue will take you to an editor page, and you can start typing in the contents of your template. The signature line section down here is just for informational purposes only. You can't edit or delete this. This is just to let you know that you don't have to add signature lines as part of this template. It'll automatically be generated for you at the end of the document as part of the e-signature process. So at the top of the page in the toolbar, you'll see common text editing tools like paragraph, heading, different text styles. You can also do bold, italicize, underline, all of that fun stuff. Over on the right-hand side, you'll see an insert menu item, and that will allow you to insert contract variables and services. So I'll go over that a little bit more in detail here in a second, but that is kind of the power behind these templates and allows them to be a little bit more dynamic. So the quickest way for you to set up a contract is if you already have one existing in a Word document or PDF file or anything like that, you can copy and paste it right here into the editor, and the changes will be saved automatically. You're probably going to want to update this and update the formatting of it. So we're going to do that now. I'm going to add heading 2 and center that, and maybe make this bold, and then maybe make this a numbered list. And I think that's looking pretty good. So obviously yours will be a lot more detailed and have a lot more terms and conditions, but just for sample purposes, we'll make this very simple. So as I mentioned before, you can insert contract variables is one of the things you can do. So I will show you how to do that. So right here, I want to insert in the client's name, but I want to make it dynamic. So I will insert a contract variable up here, and you click on this blue box here. You'll see a search box and a drop down where you can scroll through and see all of your available variables you can add into this contract. So things like the date, your company name, the client's name, email, and a lot of different event and venue information. So right here, I want to select the client's, the client's full name, and I want to insert in the company name here. So I'll delete that, insert a variable, and you can also type here like I mentioned. So I'll click company name, and going down here, let's see, I want to also put the company name here. So I'll do that, type in company, add a space there, and then the event date. So for event date, you have several different options for the date. So short, medium, long. Long is actually includes the actual day. So Saturday, Sunday, the actual text of the day. So I want to do that to make sure it's very explicit on what the date is. And then the start time, event start time, and then the venue. So I want to add in the venue information here. So the venue name. And then there are also some variables for the financials. So I'm going to add in the total. There's package total, add-on total. I want the total price of all of the services. And then last but not least, the deposit. So I'll add this, search for deposit amount. And I think that's looking good. The last thing I'll insert in is services. So one of the other things you can do besides contract variables is insert in all of the services. So I'll go and do that, and it inserts a section here that it kind of explains what it is, but it'll insert in the services for the event. That'll automatically populate here with all of your packages, add-ons, totals, taxes, anything like that. So a table of all of that information. So you don't have to do that yourself. That'll automatically be populated based on that specific event. So I think this is looking good. So I'll go ahead and click done. And that created my first contract template. And we will move on to the next step, which is adding a contract for an event. Next, I'm going to go to my event list and I'm going to select this event that I've already created. And we are going to create a contract for this event. So underneath overview, you'll see next steps. This will prompt you to create a contract if you haven't already. You can click this button or you can go to the documents tab. That button will just be a shortcut to get you here. And this is where all of your contracts will live for the event. So if you ever need to go back and view, modify, or send a link to a client, this is where you would go. So let's go ahead and create a contract. It's going to give you a suggestion for a contract name, so you can modify this if you would like. I'm going to keep it as is for now. And then this is where you'd select your contract template that we created a few moments ago. So I'm going to go ahead and select this one. This field is optional, so you can leave this blank and it'll give you a blank slate to be able to create a contract by hand for that event. But this is really where templates shine and can save you a lot of time. So as many templates as you can create, the faster your workflow will be and allow you to create a contract a lot quicker. The next field is primary signer. This will populate with a list of clients that are assigned to this event. So you can select one here. You can also modify the signers on the next page, but this is just a faster way to get your contract up and running. So let's go ahead and click continue. And now you're taken to a similar editor screen as the contract template page. The difference here is that any modifications that you make to this contract is only going to be for this specific event. So it's not going to make any changes to the original template that you created. So this is your opportunity to add a bullet point or change the verbiage, anything you need to edit this contract for this event. But if no changes are necessary, you can just keep it as is. Over here on the left-hand side is a drop-down for contract template. So if you accidentally selected the wrong template and you'd like to apply a different one on top of this, you can always select a different one and it'll prompt you and let you know that you're about to replace the contents and everything else will be erased. So just make sure before you apply that. Also, you have signers. So this is where you can remove a signer or you can add a signer. So every contract must have at least one employee and one or two clients, up to two. So you can select clients here, any employees, or someone else. So if someone else is responsible for signing this contract that's not a client or is outside of the system, you can do that here. You can also select a contract expiration date if you need to limit the amount of days that they have to sign. So it's not going to allow them to sign past whatever specific date that you set here. So I'm going to leave that off for now. And we are going to move on to the next step, which is preview and sign. This page allows you to preview your contract and add a signature before it's actually sent off to your client. So here you want to make sure that all of your contract variables are populated correctly. So client name, for example, your company name, your event dates, any places that you have those variables. Also, the services section down here populates with your packages and add-ons that you've added to the event, and then also the grand total of what the client would pay for. You also have the opportunity to sign the document. So we'll go ahead and click sign here. This is very similar to what the client will see whenever they sign. So we'll go ahead and add a signature for Mr. Michael Scott, accept the terms and conditions, and sign the document. So it says that you're officially signed, and after your client has added their signature, you'll receive a confirmation email. So we'll hit done, and we will move to the next step, which is sending the contract. So notice that after I signed the contract, the status went from draft to awaiting send. So this means that the employee has signed the contract. All you need to do is send it off to your client for them to sign. Once you send the contract, it'll change to awaiting signature. So on this page, you can modify the subject and the message for the email that's going to be sent. This will update the email preview on the right-hand side so you can see exactly what your client will see in their inbox. You can also upload a company logo on the account page, and this is a one-time effort to do. So once you do that, your company logo will show up here for every contract that you create in the future. You can also choose to send yourself a copy, and if you would like to skip this part and not send an email and send the link in your own email, you can click on Get Contract Links, and it'll give you a link for each individual person to sign. So it's very important that you copy and send the specific link for each specific signer. Otherwise, they could get mixed up and somebody can sign on behalf of somebody else. So make sure and select one of those if you need to. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Send Contract. And it says success, your contract has been sent. You can go back to the events and you can see that the status changed to awaiting signature. So after your client has signed it, it'll change to completed and it'll send you a copy of the completed document. When your client receives an email, it'll have a link to the contract. When they click on it, they'll be taken to this page here, and all they have to do is review the contract and make sure they agree to all the terms and conditions. And if they do, they will sign here. And similar to how you sign the contract, they'll enter their name, accept the terms and conditions, and click Accept and Sign. And this means that everybody has signed the document and they've added their signature, so it's complete. So I'll click Done, and it'll tell them that they've signed the contract. They can also download the PDF by clicking this button here, and they can keep this for their records. So with that, the contract is considered complete, and you are now officially booked. If you ever need a reminder on how to do something with contracts, you can always visit the documentation section of our website. You can click on the contracts feature, and this will teach you how to create a contract template, creating and sending a contract, and then contract statuses. That's it for contracts. I hope this has been helpful to you. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out. We'd love to help.